You point your scraper at Google Maps, pull the first page of local results, and by the third query the blocks start. Empty pages, capture walls, results that just stop loading. I run a hardware proxy farm in Singapore. Real phones, real SIM cards from Singtel, M1 and StarHub. Let me show you why Maps fights you so hard and the approach that actually holds up. Before I go further, a quick word on who I am, because it matters for whether you trust the rest of this. I am not reselling someone else's pool. I wreck the phones myself, I top up the SIMs myself, and I watch these IPs behave across thousands of real sessions a week. So when I tell you what Maps does and does not tolerate, it comes from running the traffic, not from a spec sheet. Maps is one of the most defended surfaces Google operates. It is not a flat list of pages you can walk. It is a live API behind a map, dated by rate limits, IP reputations, behavioral signals, and the captcha that fires the moment something looks automated. The data is valuable, so the defenses are serious. Start with rate limits. Maps tracks how fast a single IP asks for things. A real person taps a pin, reads, scrolls, maybe searches again a minute later. Your scraper fires 20 queries in 10 seconds. That pace alone is a tell, and the first thing that breaks is the IP you sent it from. And the limit is not a fixed number you can look up, it flexes with how trustworthy the IP already looks, so the same rate that sails through on one address gets you throttled on another. A fresh, clean carrier IP earns more slack than a data center IP that 1,000 other scrapers have already burned. Then there is IP reputation. A data center IP lives in a known hosting range. Every anti-bot system has those ranges mapped by ASN, not just by address. So rotating to the next data center IP in the same block buys you nothing because the whole neighborhood is already flagged. Behavioral signals are the layer most people miss. Maps watches the shape of your traffic. No map tile loads, requests that arrive in a perfectly even rhythm, headers that do not match a real browser, a viewport that never moves. Each signal is small. Stacked together, they paint you as a bot. Think about what a real user actually does. They drag the map, they zoom, they hover a pin, they load the tiles around it, they sit on a result for a few seconds before moving on. A scraper that jumps straight to the data and grabs only the JSON is invisible in all the human ways and loud in all the machine ways. And when you trip the line, you get the captcha. Once it fires on an IP, that IP is effectively done for the session. You can solve it, but a fresh challenge is waiting right behind it, and now you are paying a solver to fight a fight you already lost. And these four layers do not work in isolation, they reinforce each other. A slightly fast rate on a clean IP might pass. That same rate from a flagged data center range with bot-shaped headers and no map movement fails instantly. The score is cumulative, so every signal you fix lifts the whole run, and every one you ignore drags it down. Get this. Here is the shift that changes the math. A carrier IP looks like a real person browsing on a phone. That is exactly the traffic Maps expects to see, because most Maps usage on Earth is someone on a phone looking for a restaurant or a workshop nearby. You stop standing out and start blending in. It works because of carrier-grade net. On a mobile network, one public IP is shared by a crowd of real subscribers at the same time. Blocking that IP means blocking paying customers of the carrier, so Maps is far more cautious about swinging the ban hammer at it. Your scraper hides inside genuine human traffic. And the ASIN tells the same story. The address resolves to Singtel or M1 or StarHub, a mobile carrier that millions of ordinary people sit behind, not a hosting company that only ever serves servers. That one fact flips you from suspicious to ordinary before you send a single request. But the believable IP is only half of it. The other half is behaving like the person that IP is pretending to be. So pace and randomize your requests. Put a real gap between queries and make that gap jitter. If your base wait is 6 seconds, let it swing between 4 and 9 at random, never the same value twice in a row. And do not just randomize the delay, randomize the order too. A human does not walk a tidy alphabetical list of neighborhoods. Shuffle your query list, sprinkle in the occasional repeat or backstep, and avoid the clean sequential pattern that screams script. A steady, human-looking trickle survives where a burst dies. Keep a sane per IP rate. A mobile proxy is one phone with one radio. Push 40 parallel queries through it, and the handset chokes, the carrier throttles, and it looks exactly like Maps blocking you when really you overloaded one device. A handful of requests per IP, not dozens. If you need more volume, the answer is more phones, not more threads through one. Spread the work across the fleet so every individual IP stays looking like a normal subscriber, while your total throughput still climbs. One device blinking or rotating never stalls the whole run, because the load is already distributed. Use a sticky session per worker. Each scraping worker should hold one identity, one IP, for the length of its run. If your egress IP flips halfway through a session, Maps sees a user who teleported across the city mid-search, and that is a louder red flag than slow scraping ever was. On my farm, a sticky session is just a username token. One worker carries one token. That token pins to one phone, and every request from that worker lands on the same egress address until the worker is done. The identity stays consistent end to end, the way a real person on one phone stays on one connection. Handle the consent and redirect pages, because they will trip you before Maps even loads. Depending on region and cookies, you will hit a consent wall or a redirect to a country-specific domain. Your scraper has to click through the consent or carry the right cookies, or every request just bounces off the gate and you scrape an empty page thinking the proxy failed. Watch the redirect carefully, because a Singapore IP will tend to land you on the local Google property with local results, which is usually what you want. But if your cookies say one country and your IP says another, Maps notices the mismatch and gets suspicious. Keep the IP, the locale, and the cookies telling one consistent story. Rotate on the carrier schedule to spread load across EPs. On a real mobile network, the IP changes on its own as the device moves between towers and the carrier reassigns addresses. Lean into that. Let the natural rotation hand your fleet a fresh IP over time, so no single address ever looks busy. Plan for mobile blips too, because a real radio is not a clean wire. The connection drops for a second when a SIM hands off between towers, and that is normal. Wrap each request in a retry with a short wait, and back off when failures repeat, instead of hammering straight back into a connection that is still recovering. And be deliberate about when you do let the IP change. On a fresh IP ease in. Do not fire your full query load the instant a new address comes up, because a brand new IP that immediately blasts 100 requests looks just as wrong as an old one that never slows down. Warm it up with a few light requests, then settle into your normal pace. When the data is JavaScript rendered, use a real headful browser. A lot of what you want on Maps, the ratings, the hours, the review counts, the photos, only appears after scripts run. A raw HTTP client sees an empty shell. Drive an actual browser, let it paint the page, then read what a human would see, and mind the fingerprint while you are at it. Headless mode leaves traces that Maps knows how to spot, so run it headful or as close to headful as your setup allows, and let it behave like a normal tab. Point that browser through the mobile proxy, and route its DNS through the tunnel too, so the lookups leave from Singapore alongside the traffic and nothing leaks your real location. Watch for soft blocks, the quiet ones. Maps will not always hand you a clean error. Sometimes it serves a stripped page, an empty result set, or just hangs until it times out. Test against a neutral endpoint through the same proxy. If that is rock solid, but Maps returns junk, Maps is blocking you, and the fix is slower pacing and fresh IPs, not a new provider. And sanity check the data you do pull, because a soft block does not always look empty. Sometimes you get a thinned out result set, fewer listings than a real search would return, or stale fields. If your row counts suddenly drop, or the same handful of places keep repeating, treat that as a block signal and ease off, not as the truth on the ground. Now the honest part, because I would rather you trust me than chase me. Scraping Google Maps is against their terms of service. What I have described is the technical reality of why a real mobile IP survives where a data center IP does not. And that reality does not change the terms. If you are running this at production scale for a product or a business that depends on the data, use the official Places API. It is built for exactly this. It gives you clean structured fields, it is stable, and it will not vanish on you the day Google tightens a screw. Yes, it costs money per call, but so does the solver farm and the burn proxy pool, and the API does not get you blocked. Mobile proxies earn their place for the in-between work. Small-scale local research, checking how results look from a real Singapore connection, verifying a listing the way a customer on a phone would actually see it, auditing your own business rank from a genuine local IP. For that, a real carrier IP is the right tool, and the AP is overkill. So the honest decision tree is simple. If you need clean, structured, reliable data at volume, the AP is the grown-up answer, full stop. If you need to see what a real person on a Singapore phone sees, in the exact form they see it, that is where a carrier IP wins, and the AP cannot help you. Pick the tool for the job and you will save yourself a lot of pain. If you want to test this against real Singapore mobile EPs, I run the farm myself. Real phones, real Singtel, M1 and StarHub SIM cards. Sticky sessions so one worker keeps one identity through a run. And DNS that routes through the tunnel so your lookups do not leak your real locations. Grab a trial at singaporemobileproxy.com/client/trial and drop in code YT30 for 30% off your first month. Point your scrapper at a real Singapore phone and see how Maps treats it. Subscribe for 2 new videos every weekday. Ship something.